team like Kyrie and KD, or the Lake Show with King James and AD. Wish I could match him up with the bad boys from the 80s, but no black and white, I need that in HD. HenDawgz.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy HenDawg, and we back to it. You know how we do it. The real reason the Celtics lost to the Lakers in 1985. I think this is gonna be a really good video, but this video is for the Bird Gang. This is for y'all because I don't want to always just do the good videos. You know, you can always just do the good stuff of Larry Bird, the good stuff of Magic Johnson, like all the glory stuff. But I think for my channel, I want to go into depth about everything. And this doesn't take anything away from the Celtics or take anything away from Larry Bird. If anything, this makes him greater because it just goes to show the ups and downs and the different things that he had to go through while still being great. So that's kind of what this video is for. I want the Bird Gang to chime in on this video and let me know if y'all agree with why, you know, whoever, I don't know who made this video, but if you agree with why they say the Celtics lost in 1985 too. But before we get into this video, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to 10K. If you want to see more videos like this of old school basketball, then you are on the right channel. Go ahead and like this video if you like this video, and go ahead and write something in the comments. Not just burp. But go ahead and write something in the comments. Let me know, yeah, if this is the real reason why, or if y'all would say that there was another reason why the Celtics lost to the Lakers in 1985. Because I think 1986 was when they said the Celtics arguably had the greatest team ever. So the rebound to this year was crazy. But let's get into this one. We got the real reason the Celtics lost to the Lakers in 1985. Let's get it.
Same suspicion I had when it came to me being on the cover of your newspaper every time the Celtics lost. I love how you said that. You're like, oh, you know, that didn't happen. There's no way that you're on the cover.
That's Cedric Maxwell, right? Oh, yeah. Cedric Maxwell podcast.
This newspaper, then every time he lost the game.
By the way, don't take offense to that voice. He does it to everybody. So everyone sounds like that.
No,
you can see this.
I swear to God.
Hold on a second. Let me get the picture here. There it is.
Yeah, that was it.
There it is.
Yeah. Brandon
that was after the Celtics lost the playoff game in Philly. Because Max's theory was when we win, it's always the front page of your papers. Larry, Danny, Kev. He says when we lose, it's me and Sheep with the like this. I went into the archives. Lost the game in Philly, and it's Max.
With that black guy look going on. What happened?
What happened? Right.
It was just, and you know what? If you want to see him turn more red, all you have to do is talk about this. He will deny this to this day, going, no, no, it really wasn't. And we look at these papers and see me on the back cover on these losses and going, well, I'm not really sure. Maybe he might have something there.
Yeah, that was like the New Year's Eve for you when I gave you those clippings of those pictures. That was the greatest. You loved that. It was so great.
Would y'all say that that's true though? The Cedric Maxwell and some of the other players just not really get enough credit when they did good? Like, he got the Finals MVP in Larry Bird's first championship. Would y'all say that he wasn't getting any love behind that? Like, that's a big accomplishment. There's Hall of Fame players out there that didn't get Finals MVPs. So, yeah, would y'all say that Cedric Maxwell just didn't really get the credit he deserved in the wins? Let me know.
The thing I find, Dan, to be so striking right now is the fact that how people are going at you. And it's almost a personal front. And I remember that. And the only reason I say that is because anytime I have said anything about Larry Bird that would even turn the page, it seemed like it might have been, and it doesn't even have to be critical, but those people will come out of the woodworks and attack me personally for something I said. One of my examples I give you, I talked about Kevin Garnett. I said he might be the greatest all-around player the Celtics have ever had.
Shit.
And people went at me as if like I had said something bad. And
did he deserve to get crucified for that? Because I mean, it may not have been a direct diss towards Larry Bird, but obviously he was looking for a reaction. So let me know in the comments, who was the better all-around player, Kevin Garnett or Larry Bird? Like that's gonna strike a debate every time. Like, what did you expect, Cedric Maxwell?
And matter of fact, Greg Dickerson, who was reporting at the time, went to Larry and told Larry that. Larry said, "Well, Max is gonna quit on them like he quit on us." And I didn't even understand that. I was like, what did that have to do with anything? So I guess what I'm saying is, are you surprised with the personal attacks?
No. No, I've been doing this a long time. I mean, again, the social media didn't exist as much, when I was covering you guys, Max. But I was the only guy that wrote about Larry getting into that barroom fight in the '85 finals when you guys lost, and I really felt that was newsworthy because he didn't shoot well after that, and the Celtics didn't win the playoffs that year, and they had a really good team, as you know. Their team was stacked. I know you got blamed for the whole thing, even though they had 4 Hall of Famers in the thing, but I thought, and again, had there been social media then, again, I would have had my house burned down on that one too, because people love these guys more than they love their own families, and that's a little bit skewered, and I understand it. When Tom Brady was cheating, deflating those footballs, I wrote about that. A small thing, but they were doing it. And
that is the Bird gang, dude. Is probably the Tom Brady gang too. I know y'all probably big Tom Brady fans too. So how do y'all feel about the deflate? I know that has nothing to do with this video, but that's the beauty of my channel. I can talk about what I want to talk about and hear y'all thoughts on whatever I want to hear. So yeah, sidebar. Do y'all believe that Tom Brady should have been got in trouble for that, for deflating football? And my other question is, how is that like an advantage? Like, I don't really know. That might be a dumb question, but what is the advantage of deflating football? Is it I guess it's easier to grip, but I mean, I feel like it'd be easier for the defenders to get interceptions too, right? Like, I don't know, but let me know if I'm off on that, and then let me know if Tom Brady should have got in more trouble. And don't be biased, because I know y'all gonna be crazy Tom Brady fans too, the Bird gang. But let me know about that.
And again, nobody wants to hear that. And people still remind you that stuff. So there's certain guys that are sacred in this town, and David is one. Tom was one, Larry was one, and that's it. And I understand that comes with it, but nobody's perfect. And when stuff happens, I feel obligated to put my opinion to it. That's what I get paid to do. But the personal nature of the attacks, part of this, Max, is anonymity. You got your name on there. You go on the radio, people know it's Cedric Maxwell talking. Same with me. So we're a little more careful with that. But when you're behind a keyboard and you're anonymous, you can kill anybody.
You say whatever.
And say the meanest things. That's what Twitter's all about, just taking out your grudges. And it's a lot of lonely, anonymous people, and that's the way to do it. Most people wouldn't say that to your face. I mean, I don't think too many of your critics would get in your face and say this or that. And of course, I have, and you were always polite about that. But there's just not a lot of accountability when you have anonymous commentary, because you're just going to get.
Well, look at this. Robert Parrish's wife wasn't, anonymous. She came right at you. You wrote a few things about him, and she would just blast into you as soon as she saw you.
What you said? I want to hear these stories. What you say?
We didn't want to be on the other side of Mrs. Chief. I can tell you that.
Mrs. Chief.
It was
good for her.
Dan didn't really write anything that was really bad about Robert. It maybe was the holdout with the contract. He didn't get enough, or something like that. And all I remember is Nancy just going ballistic when she saw you. She went at you like, you had stole money out of a damn pocketbook. I was like, what the hell is that?
And everybody loved that. First time I talked to Larry after that, he goes, "Yeah, I heard Chief's wife beat you up with a purse." People just, it was always kind of an point of amusement for everybody, because as Max knows, Nancy was very fiery and did not hold back and kind of would go at anybody. And I was on the list at that time because he didn't like me, she didn't like me. But I remember how Reggie Jackson was Mr. October in baseball? Well, I used to have this version that Chief didn't do as well in the playoffs as he did in the fall. So I would call him basketball's Mr. October. And you don't want to be Mr. October in basketball because those are the games that don't count.
Yeah. especially back then.
Was that true, y'all? Because all I really watched was highlights of the Chief, and him catching the pass from Larry Bird and dunking and being ready for all those great passes. So I never seen the bad stuff. But would y'all say that the Chief kind of came up missing a little bit in the playoffs? Let me know, man. Let me know. Don't be biased. This is gonna be that take the biasness out video. This is not gonna be the great talks that I always talk about Boston, but don't be mad at me. We just gotta be real for once. But let me know about the Chief in the playoffs.
Had like 12 preseason games in October.
That might have been kind of a low blow. I don't know, but stuff like that. It's like when I said Bucky had no clue. Max never let that one go either. So that was
you know what? Here's
Max doesn't let anything go.
Here's a Johnson story that you absolutely love, and this is when everything happened. Actually, Bernard King, and this is one of the best. Well, we can go over this. Well, Bernard King had been scoring like hell against Detroit before they played us. And so they win the series. They're going to play us, the Knicks. And they're writing all these stories about Bernard King coming in. And da. So Dan Shaughnessy comes to me and said, hey, Bernard King is scoring 40 a game. What are you going to do about it? And I looked at him. I said, just like this. I said, ain't no bitch going to walk like this, score 40 points on me. And Dan looked at me
called him
like,
a bitch?
I'm about to write that down. I said, I don't give a shit. Write it down if you want to. And he wrote it the next day in the paper. KC went crazy. Bernard King went crazy. But that was a lesson I learned about, where you would go as a reporter. Because when I said, go ahead and write it down, you're like, well, I am. And I didn't believe that you actually were going to write it down.
Why wouldn't he, though?
That was a great moment. And of course, we went to New York, and Max, we did shut him. The Celtics shut him down a couple games, and he got 40 in Game 4. And oh man, the New York Post had the bitches back on the back cover. And,
oh shit!
Oh, man, it was just it was crazy times. Great. Ask Huey Brown about that. He still remembers that. That was one of the great series of all time, and a lot of back and forth on that. It was wonderful.
Did you get so much enjoyment as a broadcaster, as a writer, because we were so open at that time, and we would tell you whatever you would ask us, you better be ready because we're going to tell you the truth. Not like the players today. We were like,
I wish they were like that with us.
Maybe possible,
Yeah,
but right now it was like, okay, if you're bold enough to ask, damn it, we're bold enough to say it.
It was the only team I ever covered that was like that. The only other time you encounter that kind of honesty and candor and was talking to boxers. Boxers always talk like that. It's like, I'm going to kick the crap out of this guy, But that whole team, Max, ML, Mikhail would do it, Danny do it, Larry do it sometimes, and it was gold for us. And for poor Casey, because he did not do it. He was the opposite of that. And he had no control over that. But I remember when he didn't like Max saying about Bernard, being a bitch. Max said, "If you're scared, get a dog." That was it. And that was just, he was smart enough to let these guys be themselves. And boy, it made for the most colorful. That's why the title of my book is "Wish It Lasted Forever." Because again, when you're a writer, you got those kind of talkers, and they were all world trash talkers. That whole team. You guys were the best.
What are your favorite teams that you covered?
That's
any
it.
Sport.
The Celtics, 83-84 Celtics was my favorite team of all time. It's the first year Casey became coach. Fitch kind of had to go, and Max was still at the height of his powers, and Larry started his MVP run. Chief and Kevin, the whole thing. ML was on the way out, but he was still able to contribute. So and DJ had just come on board, who we all loved. It was just a stand-up guy. DJ is smart enough to always criticize himself, so you could never criticize him because he'd say worse stuff about himself. So that was a good weapon that he
Shout
had.
out to DJ.
And that whole team. Really, it was. Chief didn't like me, but it didn't matter. There's so many other guys. A guy like Scott Wedman didn't say much of anything, but for the most part, it was again all world trash talking team. And the Celtics Lakers finals. I did the Red Sox winning the World Series in 2004. Coming back to the Yanks 3-0, biblical 86 years. That's the best overall story I ever covered. The best team, the best single event is the 84 final Celtics-Lakers. All those Hall of Famers, back and forth, the 2-2-1-1-1 format, the trash talking that went on, Mikhail's takedown, Max hopping my back, all that stuff. You go back, and I hope these young people appreciate that. Go watch the ESPN 30 for 30.
I appreciate it.
It's the greatest thing ever.
I appreciate that 84 finals. I've actually reacted to all 7 games too, so I'm gonna go put that in here so that y'all can watch that. And also, Winning Time Season 2. If you haven't been in tune with the channel, I had the luxury of being able to be a basketball player on seasons 1 and season 2 of Winning Time. Winning Time is a show about the 1980s Lakers. And season 2, we get into this 84 finals, man. So go ahead and go watch season 1 and go get caught up, because season 2 will be out. I want to say end of July. There's no exact date, but it's coming soon. This summer, season 2 will be out, and then y'all be able to see that 1984 finals.
Max has a good story about that, Max. Tell him about the Tatum story.
Tatum?
Oh, just Jason Tatum. He tells the story, Dan, that he really didn't know who I was. And so after the 30 for 30, I'm out on the court before a game, and he walks in, and he's walking in ready to shoot around, and he says, cornbread. And I looked at him, I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? He said, man, I saw that 30 for 30. Damn, you a bad motherfucker, man. Look, he didn't even know who I was, but that 30 for 30 made us live, took us into a whole another generation of fans that because my kids looked at me and said, damn, Dad, you said that? Or you were talking James Worthy like that? It's like, yeah, I didn't have no friends. This is what I loved during that era. Not only as broadcasters, we hated all these other people, but we hated the opposition just as much. And that's something that I look at now in sports, which is completely different. Do you think so?
Too much money involved. Would y'all say it's just too much money involved? Like, how can you really be hating these people that y'all be making hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars with? Like, I think it's tough. I honestly think the money is why it's not as tough as it used to be. And I can't be mad at the players. I mean, it is what it is. Like, facts are facts. The game is not as tough as it used to be, but it's just too much money, y'all. But let me know what y'all think about that.
Yeah, everybody's hugging everybody after the games, and there was no hugging Bill Laimbeer after those Detroit games, and no hugging going on there. And
wait,
everybody hated Bill Laimbeer.
Swapping jerseys after the game, Dan? Really? We're taking pictures and swapping jerseys.
Larry hated Laimbeer so much. His whole All-Star weekend was worked around whether Laimbeer was a reserve or not. So every year when Larry got named a starter, he'd say, you guys got to come tell me when the reserves are announced, because I can't stand when Laimbeer makes the team.
That's crazy.
I got to go. It ruins my weekend. I got to go to practice on Saturday and get on the bus, and Bill's sitting there, and he goes, good morning, Larry, and I got to say, fuck you, Bill, because he did not want any part of being a teammate of Bill Laimbeer at any point in the season.
Wow, so it didn't really get too much into it. But I know what they were saying. I know what they, in this video, why they say the real reason why the Celtics lost. Larry Bird got into a bar fight. I don't know with who, why, where he was at. Like, I don't know none of that. But getting into a bar fight and then losing and not playing that well after that, it might have a result of it. But I appreciate y'all for watching this video with me. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't already. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and like this video if you like this video. And go ahead and write something in the comments. Let me know if y'all think that bar fight was the reason why the Celtics lost to the Lakers in 1985. Did it get Larry Bird off his game? Was he just not as focused? Or what y'all think happened, man? But I appreciate y'all like always. We out.